ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಶುಭ ಮುಂಜಾನೆಯ ಶುಭ ವಂದನೆಗಳು. ಎ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ मॉर्निंग टू एवरीवन. आप सभी को सुप्रभात. I am here Mr. Sidhu Navalgund. I am studying 4th year BSc Nursing in Government College of Nursing Beams, Belagavi. Today we are here to discuss in detail regarding the collective bargaining. Before starting the actual topic, we need to discuss the difference between the bargaining and collective bargaining. In bargaining, there is a individual discussion between the employer and employee regarding the particular product will take place. But in case of collective bargaining, there is a group of employees and employers, or there is a employee representatives and employer representatives. Together they collectively put effort and making some agreement. The agreement must be based on the working patterns and staffing, working hours, salary and wages. So here in collective bargaining, the buying and selling of product will not take place, but in bargaining there is an individual discussion between the buying and selling of particular product will take place. This is the difference between the bargaining and collective bargaining. Now we will move on to the introductory part of collective bargaining. The concept of collective bargaining was introduced very late in India, as the trade unions were formed only in the 20th century. The term collective in collective bargaining is used because both employer and employee come together and put a collective effort to establish mutually agreeable terms and conditions for employment. See, why we use this collective term in collective bargaining means here both the employer and employees come together and put a collective effort to establish a mutually agreeable terms and conditions for employment. Now we will discuss the definition of collective bargaining. The definition says that the collective bargaining involves a set of procedures by which employee and employer representatives negotiate to obtain a signed agreement that describes the conditions for employment, wages, working hours and staffing pattern in nursing. See what our definition says means it involves a set of procedures. It involves a set of procedures by which both employer representative and employee representative negotiate to obtain a signed agreement that describes the conditions for employment, wages, working hours and staffing pattern in our nursing. See, this flowchart describes the exact meaning of collective bargaining. Here the employer's representative and here the group of employees, that is nothing but the representatives of employees, they come and together negotiate the negotiation between these employers and these employees takes place, that together we called as collective bargaining. I hope the definition of collective bargaining is clear all of you. So now we will move on to the objectives of collective bargaining. The first and foremost objective is to arrive at an agreement on wages and other conditions of employment, and second objective is to maintain employee and employer relationship bilaterally. Third objective is to protect the interest of nurse employees through collective action, to negotiate voluntarily yielding some concessions and sacrifices by both parties. And the fifth objective is to bargain from a position of strength without exploiting the weakness. To bargain from a position of strength without exploiting the weakness. The sixth objective is to resolve the difference between nurse employees and management through negotiation. To resolve the differences between nurse employees and management through negotiation. The last objective is to have a peaceful coexistence for the mutual benefits and progresses. The last objective is to have a peaceful coexistence for the mutual benefits and progresses. Now we discuss regarding the exact process of collective bargaining. The process of collective bargaining involves negotiation and discussion between the management and union, as it is a complex process involving the number of procedures, techniques and tools. So this process comprises of 7 main steps. See, the first phase is preparatory phase, second one is discussion phase, and third one is proposal phase, and fourth one is bargaining, and fifth one is settlement phase, sixth one is formalizing the agreement, and last one is enforcing the agreement. These 7 steps together form the process of collective bargaining. Now we will discuss the first step or first phase of collective bargaining, that is preparatory phase. In this phase, there is certain activities are carried out, that is the selection of negotiation team. The selection of negotiation team consists of representatives of both the parties, that is both employer and employees. The negotiation team members should have adequate knowledge, skills for negotiation. And the second activity of this phase is the identification of problem. What problem we are going to discuss in between the employer and employees. And the third part is examination of the situation and issues for negotiation. And that is the last activity of this phase is that is a collection of data. So enough supportive data is kept ready before starting the process of collective bargaining. That data describes the negotiation between the employer and employees.
Sure.
This is all about the first phase, that is preparatory phase, and the second phase is discussion phase. In this discussion phase, we have to decide an appropriate time. We have to decide an appropriate time and set a proper climate for negotiation, and we have to take decision on ground rules. As we have discussed earlier, based on that ground rules, we have to make decisions, and maintenance of mutual trust and understanding will take place in this place. That is, maintenance of mutual trust and understanding between the employer and employees takes place, and it involves in active listening, asking questions, observations, and summarizing the decisions will take place. And last, that is the collective bargaining. Actually, the collective bargaining will take place in discussion phase. That is the discussion between the employer representative and employee representatives. This all about the second phase, that is discussion phase. So now we will discuss the third phase, that is proposal phase. It is also called as possible alternative phase. Proposal phase is also called as possible alternative phase. In this phase, the initial opening of statements will take place, and the possible alternatives are opinions to resolve the issues by both parties. That is, the possible alternatives are opinions to resolve the issues by both parties takes place, and that is brainstorming will take place in proposal phase or in possible alternative phase.
Start.
See, this is all about the third phase, that is proposal phase. Now we need to discuss the fourth phase, that is bargaining phase. In bargaining phase, the proposals are set forth. The proposals means what we required for negotiation between employer and employees will set forth, and this is actual problem solving phase. The bargaining phase is also called as problem solving phase. In that, whatever you have the problem to negotiate with the employer representative and employee representative, that the problem will be solved in this place. That is bargaining phase. And next we move on to that is our fifth phase of the process of collective bargaining, that is the settlement phase. In settlement phase, there is a consensus agreement on common decision. There is a consensus agreement on common decision will take place, and the negotiated change. Negotiated change means the whatever we have discussed or negotiated in between the employer and employee representative, that is mainly based on common decision. This is about the settlement phase.
Start.
Now we will move on to the sixth phase of our process of collective bargaining, that is formalizing the agreement. Formalizing the agreement, in this phase there is a drafting of agreements. There is a drafting of agreements. After good faith bargaining, a formal document must prepare. The formal document must prepare. The document should be simple, clear and concise. What the document we have prepared for formalizing agreement, that should be simple, clear and concise. The second activity of this phase is signing the agreement. Both the parties sign the agreement and abide by its terms and conditions. As we discussed in the definition, that is, we have to make an agreement. On that agreement, we have to regulate the conditions for employment. So, in this phase, both the parties, that is, employer and employees, sign the agreement and abide by its terms and conditions. This is about the sixth phase, that is formalizing the agreement. Then the last phase is, that is, enforcing the agreement. Enforcing the agreement, in this phase, have the agreement effective. To have the agreement effective and meaningful, it should be enforced or implemented immediately. The collective bargaining process will make effective and meaningful. It should be enforced or implemented immediately. This is about the enforcing the agreement. That is the last phase of process of collective bargaining. I hope everyone is clear about this process of collective bargaining. So now we will move on to the types of collective bargaining. There are mainly four major types in collective bargaining. The first one is distributive bargaining. The distributive bargaining is also called as conjunctive bargaining. The second one is integrative bargaining. It's also called as cooperative bargaining. And the third type is productivity bargaining, and last one is composite bargaining. So now we will move on to the complete in detail discussion regarding the first type, that is distributive bargaining. It's also called as conjunctive bargaining. Here one party's gain is another party's loss. It means there is a gaining of the employer party. That means there is a loss of the employees parties. The one party's gain is another party's loss. In this type, economic issues like wages, salaries and bonuses are discussed, and it is a more competitive type of collective bargaining. Why? Because here the one party's gain is another party's loss. And next we will discuss in detail regarding the integrative bargaining. It is also called as cooperative bargaining. In this type, both the parties may gain, or at least neither parties losers. It means it is a cooperative bargaining. In this, both parties may gain or both parties may lose. It tends to be more cooperative. And as we have discussed, that is, it is also called as cooperative bargaining. And in this, both parties are trying to make more of something. Means here both the parties may gain, or at least neither parties losers. So now we will move on to that is the third type of productivity bargaining. In this, substantial benefits based on the productivity standards and management control over workplace relations. In this type, there is a substantial benefits based on the productivity of standards and the management control over workplace relationship. This is all about the third type of collective bargaining, that is productivity bargaining. And last one is, that is composite bargaining. In this, the wages with equity, means there is a equitable distribution or equitable negotiation between employer and employees will take place. These all things we discussed in the types of collective bargaining. See, there are mainly four types. That is, first one is distributive, second one is integrative, third one is productive, and last one is, that is composite bargaining. So I hope everyone is understood about the types of collective bargaining. Now we will move on to the merits and demerits of collective bargaining. First and foremost, we need to discuss in detail about the merits of collective bargaining. what all are the merits of collective bargaining means? The first one is it provides the nurses the opportunity to have a voice regarding professional issues of staffing and working practice as well as wages, benefits and working conditions in nursing profession. The first merit is it provides nurses the opportunity to have a voice regarding professional issues of staffing and working practice as well as wages, benefits and working conditions. And the next merit is it promotes nurses democracy. It promotes nurses democracy and their participation in management and their participation in the decision making roles. And the third merit is it helps in establishing the harmonious relationship between nurse employee and employer. It helps the establishing harmonious relationship in between the nurse employee and employer. The next merit is it emphasizes on the interest and benefits of the both the parties. Both the parties means the employee representative and the employer representative. It emphasizes on the interests and benefits of both parties. The last merit of collective bargaining is it eliminates unnecessary expenditures and it avoids the bitterness among nurse and their employers. It eliminates the unnecessary expenditures and avoids the bitterness among nurse and their employees. These all are points comes under merits of collective bargaining. And now we will move on to the demerits of collective bargaining. What are the demerits of collective bargaining means? The first one is the decision is often influenced by power and politics. Whatever we made decisions on the agreement, that decision is often influenced by the power and politics. The next demerit is the immediate consequences of collective bargaining is not fulfilled, it's strike or lockout. The immediate consequences whatever we made from this agreement, that all consequences of collective bargaining, if not fulfilled, it's strike or lockout. And the last demerit is this process may not be fair at all times. This collective bargaining may not give effective results at some times. These all are the demerits of collective bargaining. I hope you all cleared about the merits and demerits of collective bargaining. So students, today what all are we discussed means, first initially we discussed related to the introduction of the collective bargaining, and next we discussed the definition of collective bargaining, and we discussed in detail about the objectives of collective bargaining, and we described the process of collective bargaining and types of collective bargaining, and last that is nothing but merits and demerits of collective bargaining. I hope everyone is cleared about today's topic. So now I would like to conclude about my topic, that is collective bargaining. Okay, thank you one and all. Thank you.